Oh goodness, sorry about cutting like that. I had to get up, stretch my legs, reward myself with a carbonated, sugary, caffeinated beverage. I think that section there, the past, I guess, 15 minutes of that really taught me so much about the unit micromanagement in this game. Although it's unfortunate that I brute forced my way through this, it is my first time playing through the mission, so I'm not upset. But by using Ulrich's charges so early, I forced myself to, well, through a combination of basically just cheesing, but I learned a lot about the unit situations. How, even with just like one dwarf, if the dwarf can outpace the thrall, and you have a few bowmen up for support, although I suppose you wouldn't need them, if it's just thrall, and, you have a super, I really do think that, the veteranship adds the speed. I don't recall dwarves being able to run the thrall so easily. I guess if you just have a warlock or something. Where are those? We don't have a warlock. The bowman can readily deal with fetch, although it's obvious to me that I hadn't noticed before. Fetch are just a little bit faster. But whenever, you hit any unit, it stuns it just for a little bit, or at least, say, the fetches, giving you an opportunity to lay down fire. What would it take, like 6 bow arrow shots to kill a fetch? 6 or 7. That's important information. Myrcridia, the first time they showed up, I hated them. That was the first time we had Ulrich, and thus the first time we needed to use the bullshit hacks. Was like 14 Myrcridia I counted on that bridge? I really wish I could have seen them up from, below the ground, or at least heard the numbers, or had some sense of what was coming beyond having to bumble into it for the first time. Whew. Of course, not having those extra dwarves. My goodness. That drained me. Man, that wore me down. I imagine it wore down quite a few of you as well, who for whatever reason have chosen to follow the series despite knowing how to play this game and knowing what you're doing. Oh man. The brute forcing with saving is unfortunate, and doesn't exactly exhibit any level of skill on my part. Although at least I've learned enough about the basic rudimentary mechanics to understand unit principles now, which isn't that bad. I've definitely, over this entire series, I've managed to develop an appreciation for the game, which you can only really get by playing the game. And while I'm certainly not going to be any advanced player, or, I'm never going to take the time in my life to be an advanced player of this, as I've noted before, I've come to the conclusion, I can really see why so many people enjoyed this game. I've had my numerous gripes and issues. It partly results out of frustration as I'm struggling to learn. This real-time sort of tactics game is not what I do. At times it feels like a puzzle game, this campaign. And I definitely imagine it could be more fun in situations where you're not pitted against bullshit in the campaign. When you're playing just like straight up, like fairly even maps versus human players. I could definitely see that. And the campaigns are scripted and designed to provide challenge in a variety of areas courtesy of the fact that while the AI in this game is clever, you can still work around it. Of course you have a final vanguard of Myrcridia. Why not? Like 19 fetches jammed up back there too. And I've just seen this game on normal difficulty. And I feel that if I were to replay the campaign, I'd still require some saving and loading as I work through my knowledge and the issues. But I definitely feel like I would do a much better job, because I have a better understanding of the mechanics. Oh, of course you have a soulless entourage too. 19 fetch, they could still be back there. Good Lord in heaven. Ah, man. Guess what's really required is that, Ulrich has to have some health on him in order to be able to, tank Soulblighter. Okay. Alright, Track is up to 115 kills. He's definitely gone into triple digits. I think I noted that fucking around the bridge all the way back there. It seems like forever ago now. Oh, man. This is definitely the longest video in the series, without any doubt in my mind. There went my precise angles for attacking. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, that was beautiful. No, it wasn't. I thought that was much more beautiful than it actually was. I lost track of my enemies. The hell do I know, right? Alright. Let's go ahead and limit down my speed once again. We're going to do some engagement. I want you to throw that there, please. If you would be so kind, Track.
Okay.
Good job. He doesn't have a whole lot of health, unfortunately.
Casualty.
Can't let anyone through like that. Don't you let anyone through, goddammit. Okay. Alright.
Yes?
We'll leave it up to, you guys here. I'd rather you not be in the lead, though.
Moving.
Did they run away from me? He is running from me. Interesting. Now that is rude as hell, dropping all that shit. Ow. Face hole.
Moving.
Dodge, my friend. Dodge for victory. Oh, Ulrich's moving on his own.
Ready.
Means we have ourselves a final confrontation coming, everyone. Track. Heron guards. It's Vader time.
Can you feel it, Ulrich? I have killed the whole world!
You are mistaken, Soulblighter. You have only killed yourself. Hold them off.
Hold them off? What? What? Are you fucking kidding me, Ulrich? Hold them off my ass. Okay. We seriously need to look into getting more reinforcements. We're the fucking good team. Can we not look... Shoot!
Incoming!
Why the hell aren't you supporting? Archer's like, adopting Ulrich. He's so amazing to watch. I like parts. Oh my goodness. Everyone is awesome. It's my impersonation of my units, guys. There, while he's going crazy. Well, I'm glad you needed to get this close to counterspell. What bullshit's coming my way today?
Yes.
Well, it's a good thing I kept some bowmen around.
Catch!
And track, of course. The legendary track. The legendary dud throwing track.
Yes.
So, okay. That will be what our army consists of, our enemy composition is now. Let's go ahead and that. No wonder the game was like, hey, try to take care of your units. You might need them, dumbass. Don't blow your load with Ulrich. Pro tip. I feel like the game was giving me a pro tip not to be a dumbass. Look, they just teleport right in. Why can't we teleport units right in? Why does darkness have to be so awesome? Why would it be awesome? This is why we can't have... I don't want you to shoot him. Shoot him. This is why we can't fucking have nice things, you realize. Never darkness can teleport shit in. Bullshit. Can we make him go crazy? No. Uh-oh.
Ready.
New concern. New concern. Not fucking amused by this shit at all, game. Not at all. Hold him off! I've got to be awesome! Too busy kicking your mother's ass, yeah!
Yes.
Look at me, bitch! I'm the goddamn Batman! Yeah, it's my D, harlot. I'm the goddamn Emperor! I'll kill all my allies just to prove a point, bitches! I don't need nobody. Except when I need somebody. Yeah!
Casualty.
Goddamn Emperor Ulrich, Collins! You can't match my skill! Oh! Hey, you got some more Vicrinia coming, lol! I'm completely defenseless! Hope you weren't relying on me to protect you! 'Cause that would have been dumb, lol! Yeah! Gonna kick your ass! Yeah! Drag you through a dud! Now your archers are sitting around fucking jacking off, yeah! Well, the fetches are coming and you only got 3 archers. It's a good thing you have bowmen left, though. Otherwise, I'd get vaporized, lol. Wouldn't want me to get vaporized, would you? Nah, fuck it.
Stand clear.
Oh, here come more soldiers. Enemies are coming out the ass. Do we get any more reinforcements? No, because we're losers. We're the forces of good. It's more epic if we do it against horrible odds, really. Fucking really.
Casualty.
It really is more epic. Don't you even think about it. Ah,
Casualty.
shit. We got 1 more left. There's another fetch. We have to fucking reload.
Casualty.
Actually, all the bowmen are dead. Ah. Well, there you go, folks. Let's get some volume in this shit.
The fallen lords are dead, and the dark has fled the land. Now we return to the difficult task of rebuilding. It will take many years to restore our cities and recover our farmlands, and this time we will remain vigilant. I have chosen to follow the Emperor and his Heron Guard back to Mjolnir. There is nothing left for me in Strand, place of my birth. I have become fast friends with 9 Skull Crocodile, the man who has healed the many wounds I received during the assault on Tharsis. He is ancient even by Heron standards, and speaking with him has given me some insight into what has happened to our world. There are laws that govern the workings of the universe that have remained immutable for countless eons. According to these laws, the forces of light and dark hold dominion over the world successively, the land belonging in turn to men or to monsters. Each cycle would be presaged by the appearance of a great comet, foretelling the rise of savior or destroyer. Each golden age would give way to one of darkness, when foul things would stir beneath the earth and evil spirits would plague the land. In turn, each dark age would fall to one of light. The evil would pass from the land, just as the comet from the sky. The saviors of each golden age were men who had risen to face the dark and never turned away. They were men of unflinching heroism who would not rest until they had loosened the bloodless grip of wicked things which had dominated their lands. Many of these heroes were doomed to return in the following age as fallen lords, destroying all they had fought so hard to preserve. Although the hero of every age of light is different, every dark age is ushered in by the same beast, a transient divinity that seeks only conflict, the Leveler. And so Tiresias returned as Moagim to end the Age of Reason, and Connaught, the great hero of the Wind Age, returned as Balor to lay waste to the greatest empire the world had ever known. The Leveler was never killed. He was immobilized by sorcery, beheaded, and burned at the stake in the Second Era. 1,000 years later, he was drawn and quartered on the plains before Ilium, the tireless horses dragging the pieces of his lifeless body to the four corners of the world. Again, in the Fourth Era, his body was destroyed by fire, his ashes mixed with salt and buried under the mountains of Kor. Balor, Moagim, and all those before them wore the mantle of the Leveler. When I stated that Balor was vanquished but 60 years ago, Nine Skull nodded thoughtfully. Soulblighter was not the Leveler. He may have been if he had survived into the next millennium, but in his attempt to force the cycle, he perished, and almost certainly will suffer at the hands of those who set it in motion. It is even conceivable that because of his actions, the cycle has been broken, but we cannot be sure. At least, not for another 940 years. Nine Skull chuckled, saying that with a little luck, he may still be around to see. He told me about Olmyothenmi, describing it with words that seemed out of place coming from such a grizzled warrior. He spoke of its many spired palaces and monuments, and the grand bazaar during each year's harvest. When I told him that I wished I could have seen the city at the height of its power, he said I might see it in my lifetime. Then he told me that next year the Heron Guard will be reinstating the septennial tournament to fill out their ranks. Men of bravery and warriors of renown from every corner of the Empire will gather to compete for the honor of joining them. I will be there.
Alright, so perhaps I adjusted the volume up too high there. That was very pleasurable to hit. Why is this such a depressing picture we want? Well, that was a very interesting insight into the myth world, I suppose, for someone who is completely unfamiliar with it. For I have neither played, nor watched anyone played, nor seen, nor, I suppose, cared to see the original in action. And I'm certainly not sure I feel compelled to play it at all. This would, I think, be a situation where I'm glad no one requested Myth of the Fallen Lords. And I would perhaps even go far as to say if anyone had requested, I would reject it and say you're going to have to pick a substitute. That being said, as I was noting in my observations before our final fight with Soulblighter, which was turned into a defend mission one more time, I can certainly see and appreciate the mechanics which would cause people to enjoy this game so much. The campaigns are wont to be scripted to provoke, or rather to provide a wide array of challenges to a human player, single player, because you have heroes, you have all sorts of crazy, quirky situations, and Myth 2 is certainly not the only strategy or tactical game which has a single-player campaign, which has a lot of curious and oh shit, we're fucked scenarios that only the masochistic would play and enjoy. In that instance, but the underlying mechanics, the guts of the game, how everything moves and flows, how every unit has its own strengths and weaknesses, they all balance out well together. At least from the limited amount of play experience I saw, and how every unit, well, every non-hero unit had a hard counter. Or, even soft counters as well. Situations such as dwarves, you could apply them to a varying amount of situations, but in turn, ghouls and Myrcridia could easily run down dwarves without support. Or, a lot of dwarves. Things that upset me about the game, now that it's all over, I'm not as angry or as upset about the game as I project myself to be while playing the game. It is nearly a natural venting of frustration that I do in the process of playing the game, basically in an attempt to calm myself down. I do it whenever I play games on my own, so you all aren't getting any special show there. The only difference is that I will switch from doing it internally to doing it externally and then back to eternally. But I have plenty of, are you fucking kidding me? This is bullshit. How are you supposed to know? And I whine and bitch and complain. And then afterwards, depending on the situation, I'll calm down. And once I've calmed down, I'm able to analyze the situation in hindsight and determine how I really feel about it. As someone with a great passion for history, being a historian and all, my focus ends up being geared to that. I can live in the moment, and then afterwards is where I thrive the most. It's sort of what I trained myself and what others trained me to be. In that instance, I mean, there were certainly missions where I had more fun than others. This game, however, was rewarding in the sense of how challenging it is. There are many games which suffer from a flaw of not being challenging enough. I'm a single-player gamer for the most part, so games which have a rich and vibrant single-player campaign, for all of the bitching and complaining I might do about the forces of good always being outmatched and outclassed. It makes for more epic situations. You work with what you have, and you have to try to walk into every situation assuming, all right, I can win with what I was given. Now let's win. There are many games I have played that failed to stimulate my intellect. It is better for me to have a visceral reaction of frustration, as this means I cannot be lazy and half-ass my way through a game and then go at the end, it's alright. The difficulties and challenges you have from the wide array of unit types and the necessity of being on your toes is welcome. I did have some issues with how some of the individual missions. Of course, you heard me really thinking back on it. That mission where you're hunting down the Shiver. I've already forgotten her name now. I honestly think that was the low point of the entire campaign for me, where it's not a problem if I'm not sure how to phrase this, because I'm not sure of my exact feelings in the situation. I'm mercurial and mutable. Perhaps in another time, in another place, I would have enjoyed a random romp along a large map. But since Myth 2 Soulblighter doesn't allow you to get away with lazy play due to its array of units that it throws at you, forcing you to always micromanage and babysit your shit, relaxing romp doesn't exactly come to mind. And we've run a whole gamut of bullshit. Defense missions, escort missions, can't get this guy killed missions. We've had so much friendly fire, so much splash damage in this game. Ulrich, my goodness, what the fuck? What the hell is that? Like a fucking bone the game throws you? And I mean, and I have a better sense, now having done a full playthrough of the game, of how you would respond and react to situations. It's only natural that an intelligent person who enjoys strategy games, is an intellectual thinker, has been edified by what he has witnessed, and uses his experience to play the game better. We wouldn't see that because I'm not going to play this game again. It happens with all sorts of games. The great games, they're the ones that teach you, and not only do they teach you, but you enjoy the games teaching you, and you want them to teach you. Not every game is instructive. In that sense, I can easily and readily understand why Soulblighter is a beloved game. Not beloved by me, but definitely beloved by others. I have an appreciation for the game and its underlying mechanics and what it's capable of. Appreciation buried beneath all of my random spoutings and frustration. As I said, it's often, just me spouting off whatever's at the top of my head just to diffuse myself and calm myself down. In fairness, it's also a limitation, as so many games can fail to properly challenge an intellectual player with poor AI and, just easily romp through them. Naturally, a talented individual such as myself, who is coasted by on natural ability rather than skill, would, part of the frustration is directed at myself rather than the game, just by failing to remember the game mechanics, failing to properly implement what I've learned, failure to make a smart, intelligent decision. I'm just as annoyed at Soulblighter as I am at me. That concludes what I have to say about the game. I think I'll just provide a link to someone who's compiled all the cutscenes for Myth 2 Soulblighter, and I'll watch myself. It saves me so much time with video editing and processing it, and I think I'll take the easy way out, because I don't have anything new to say. I just thinking about I definitely do appreciate the game and its mechanics, and I imagine that playing multiplayer, if you're someone who enjoys really enjoys the game, by having all those players together in a massive sort of spree, particularly the co-op situation where so many players can work together with so many different units and all sorts of fun team battles, I can definitely see how that would be great fun, and how playing with friends, the extra company, it's a factor that can help salve over egregious problems of a video game. It really can, and such that the game itself merely becomes a conduit by which you spend time together, and you like playing the game because you like hanging out with your friends, and there's nothing wrong with that. As such, multiplayer games especially games that have well-designed multiplayer functionality. Here I am fucking just spouting out about something else completely irrelevant. Um, uh, I'm all right with Tiny Shopkeeper for requesting this game. I don't want to play it again, not because the game isn't good. It's just not something I prefer. I like the resource management. I like not just a tactical aspect of combat, but a strategic aspect as well. It plays to my sensibilities. When I think SKS has called me a spy master with how my persona is, and the tactical sort of constantly babysitting my units, always worried about friendly fire. It's not for me. I'm a While I do sometimes tend to focus on small pictures, I like big picture stuff too. And with this game, you don't do big picture. Other than, trying to make sure you array your units for maximum survivability and what have you. That last mission, I freely admit, understanding the map layout as well as the monster layout, if I replayed it, I would do a far better job of defeating the enemies before me and sustain fewer casualties. Simply because now that I know the monster placement, I can properly allocate my resources. But that's to be expected. If that were not true, then I would not be an intelligent individual. And for as much as I insult myself, I have something going for me. But that's neither here nor there. I am tired of rambling. I will see you all in the next Let's Get On With It adventure. Take care, do good deeds, and really, bitching is cathartic. You should try it sometime. Not in the comments, though. Leave the bitching to me. I'm a professional.